avoiding a lot of damage in the big wreck at lap 117.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly how you'd lay it out on a piece of paper, for sure. We had a really, really fast car in clean air, really loose car in traffic. We were able to somewhat dodge that wreck, save plenty of gas to be able to race hard at the end. So it was fun. Car wasn't obviously quite as good after we wrecked it, but still they did a great job fixing it.
Turn 2 was brutal for many drivers, including the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, who has had a disappointing second half of the season. A 13-car wreck took big names out of the picture, like Harvick, Kenseth, Stewart, Keselowski, Truex, and Vickers. Vickers tried to avoid the 11 car of Denny Hamlin, going sideways and helped collect a pile of drivers. Brad Keselowski spins out in the first lap of the race, but pulls a great save while racing for third. Next week, the Sprint Cup Series returns to Watkins Glen for the second road course race of the year. Nate Webster, WHAV Sports.
Remember, WHAV is the only Haver-based news source, and it's always free. In the Edwin V. Johnson newsroom, this is Dana Esmel.
WAVE weather.
I'm WHAV meteorologist Gary Best with WAVE weather. Partly cloudy to clear skies for the Merrimack Valley going through the night. Low temperature by morning, 60 to 65 degrees. And then during the day Tuesday, a mix of clouds and sun, perhaps an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. We climb into the low and mid-80s. At night, some scattered clouds in the mid-60s. Wednesday, partial sunshine, upper 70s to low 80s, with a few scattered showers and thunderstorms around. This is meteorologist Gary Best. Your next WAVE weather is coming up in 30 minutes.
This is listener-supported community radio, WHAV. WHAV is the Merrimack Valley's Pacifica affiliate.
Catch the wave, WHAV, Merrimack Valley. Open mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
Apparently, all is right with the world. Video problems on both ends, both at HC Media and at WHAV, appear to have been resolved. Many thanks to all who played a role in that. Perhaps it was Sarah at HC Media and our own Nathan E. Webster III. Apparently, a rather simple problem that he figured out. So thank you very much, Nate. All right. So much going on here. I believe we have a caller who's been waiting for almost forever to do a birthday wish. Let's get you on the air. You have a birthday wish for us?
I do, Tim.
Sorry for the long wait.
Oh, that's fine. You know what? I would have been listening anyway, so what difference does it make?
All right.
It's for my husband.
Okay. What's your husband's name? First name?
Len.
Len?
Len. L-E-N.
Okay, Len. And when is Len's birthday?
On September 5th.
September
and it's a big
5th.
one.
It's a big one.
Yep. It's not 40 or 50 or 70, not even 80.
All right, so that leaves us with 10, 20.
I think he'll be 85.
85?
85, yep.
Well, happy birthday.
Yep, happy birthday to him. And he's, like, active and very happy. So what else can I say?
All right, well, if he wants a job at HAV, we have some things that can be done.
You know what? I'm not going to tell him because he'll show up there in the morning.
Well, actually, we could always use an extra hand. Never know.
Really? Well, you know what? I just might tell him that. But you know what? I want to make a comment on your last caller who was talking about Market Basket and how other shops like Stop and Shop and Shaw's, they're busing people in to work.
Yes.
A week ago Friday, I was at Shaw's in Salem, New Hampshire. And the customer in front of me at the checkout line asked the cashier, "What time do you close this evening?" And the cashier said, "Oh, I do not know. Hold on." So she yelled to the woman next cashier, and they said, "Oh, 11 o'clock." And then she turned to us, and she said, "Oh, they just brought me down here from Vermont." today.
From Vermont.
From Vermont. That was a week ago Friday.
Wow. See, now we have an eyewitness to that.
Yes. Yeah.
What do you know about that? Well, I hope they resolve this pretty quickly.
Too.
I mean, I guess it's too late to be quick, but I hope they resolve it soon.
I know, but we just take it for granted, don't we? That we can walk out our door and go to Market Basket and pick up what we need. Now we have to think about it.
Well, I know, and actually, do you live in Haverhill?
I do.
So, of course, what other stores are there?
Exactly, but you know what? Where I live, I'm like Plastow is in my backyard. And
then we must be neighbors.
Yeah, we probably are. So today, I went into the Plastow Market Basket early this morning around 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I said, I'm not coming in here to shop. I just want to see what it looks like. And when I walked in the door, it actually looked like regular Market Basket. All the shelves were stocked. But the woman said to me, remember, it's the produce and meat, and they were in there cleaning and... I was probably in there for 10 to 15 minutes. I only saw one customer go through the checkout, and it was a man with a little box of SOS.
Well, what do you know about that? Yeah, actually, we'll have now that we're back on television. Nate took some photographs at Westgate Center, I believe, yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And the cereal aisle, I guess from my recollection, I was surprised to see that pretty empty at Westgate. So I guess they're having some other problems there. Yeah. But no, since this is an opinion program, I'm going to say let's keep up the fight.
Yes. My husband said to me this morning, you're not going to Market Basket, are you? I said, gosh, no.
No, we just go there to take pictures, and I think Nate was posting his receipts from other stores.
Yes, there were tons of them on the windows at the Plastow store this morning, totally covered.
Now, I have to say, this is a pretty amazing development. It really is perhaps a once-in-a-lifetime that you see a worker uprising like this. And I have to say, I think I saw it in the Eagle Tribune. I'll give credit where credit is due. I think they compared it today to the Bread and Roses strike.
Oh, wow, from Lawrence.
So that's right. Because let's hope it doesn't turn violent.
Yeah, no, they've been pretty. You know what? I think they're courageous. I don't know if I ever could have done that when I needed to work.
No, I think they are courageous. You're absolutely right. And when you have the attorneys general of both Massachusetts and New Hampshire on their side, I think they're doing a real good job. This is not something that was organized by others. They've done a great job with this. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for your call, and happy birthday to Len.
Yes.
Happy birthday. We'll do the drawing the last Monday of the month, and be sure to thank LBD's Italian Bakery for their donations.
I certainly will.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, well, that was a great comment, and nice to have a good listener. We are back on television. Nate's been running through some of the photographs he took. I was surprised at the one that I'm looking at now, which is the cereal aisle, pretty empty. So if you like Special K or Frosted Flakes, you're in luck. Otherwise, I like to eat those granola cereals, but of course I'm not going to buy it at Market Basket right now anyway. All right, we have our first entry into the September Happy Birthday, Happy Anniversary Cake Contest. If you know someone, including yourself, who's having a birthday or an anniversary in September. We do this sort of a month in advance. Call now, 978-374-1900. We'll add the recipient's name to the hat for the drawing the last Monday of this month. And again, thanks go out to LBD's Italian Bakery in Bradford, 140 South Main Street. The winner of the birthday or anniversary cake contest, I guess we should give it some real name down the road, will receive a 7-inch vanilla or chocolate cake. Very good. All right, we still have some other prizes here. $10 gift certificate to Kimball Tavern Antiques, corner of Salem and South Main Streets, longtime supporters of the Open Mic Show and WHAV. $10 gift certificate, same as cash. If you can answer this question, what is the name of the oldest bowling league in Haverhill? Oldest bowling league in Haverhill. Apparently still around. Now, if you know anyone in the bowling league, Call them. Find out what league they're in. Maybe they're in the league that's the oldest. Take a guess. And the first person to answer this correctly receives a $10 gift certificate to Kimball Tavern Antiques. Also, the very first caller to request a free pass to the John Greenleaf Whittier birthplace will receive one. So, again, 978-374-1900. And David Goswood, I think he tried calling a few minutes ago in the midst of a bunch of technical follow-up, so he's free to call again. But David Goswood offered this question, this trivia question. Rob Zombie, famous Haverhillite Rob Zombie, in a Rolling Stone interview, was asked what he did for amusement in Haverhill. He rather panned the city, said there was nothing to do here. Downtown was vacant. Stores, maybe this was during urban renewal, were closed or gone. So he said he played football in a rather unusual location in the city. Be the first person to name that location correctly, and you can choose between one of two of these Trivial Pursuit games, mini pack. One is War and Victory, the other one is Flicks. And even these prizes were provided by our friends at Kimball Tavern Antiques. All right, have I hit all the prizes, Nate? Okay, very good. All right, now, open lines tonight. I'd like to hear your thoughts on any topic you'd like. We heard from WHAV's environmental consultant, Jerry, in Methuen, and now it's your turn. We heard actually just from this caller a minute ago about Market Basket, but let's talk about some of the. Well, let me throw this out first. I started the program by saying that I became interested in a thread, they're called, on the Facebook page, You Know You're From Haverhill When. John wrote about his either uncle or great-uncle, Joseph J. Durso, and he showed a photograph of a Durso election sign with a photo of Joe Durso for his Haverhill City Council race. And he wrote, the late Joseph Durso served the city of Haverhill as an alderman from 1948 to 50, city councilor from 1952 to 56. He also served as vice chairman of the city council from 1954 to 55 and was, he says, venerable of the Haverhill Sons of Italy Lodge around that same time. Now, my memories, so to add to this, is that I believe Joe Durso served on the Haverhill Housing Authority during urban renewal and built quite a few of the shopping centers around the city. Other writers on Facebook mentioned Parkview Lane as possibly being one of his projects, homes on Garden Street, and possibly St. James School on Primrose. So we reached deep into the WHAV archives and found, I know we have to take a break, but let's try to fit this in before the break. We found this commercial in the WHAV archives from when Joe Durso ran for state representative, or the Republican nomination for state representative. Nick, can you pull that up?
WAVE Retromercial.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joseph J. Durso speaking. In this election, I have just one promise to make: to support and sponsor legislation for the benefit of all the people, regardless of party affiliation or special interest. Republicans and independent voters, ask for a Republican ballot and support intelligent, forceful representation by voting for Joseph J. Durso for state representative for District 4, Wards 1, 3, and 5. Thank you.
Okay, I don't think those wards line up with the ones we have today. I believe the State House of Representatives, or part of the Great and General Court, as it's called in our Constitution, I think was twice the size it is now. Someone with a better memory could tell me that for sure. All right. Actually, I do believe that was why Dave Swartz, one of the reasons why he lost election to his state rep seat, because of the slimming down of the size of the State House of Representatives. All right, so if you have a memory of Joseph Durso or any one of those related topics, feel free to call 978-374-1900. We're going to take a brief break. When we come back, we're going to talk about trash, among other things. Mayor James J. Fiorentini of Haverhill says he took his own poll. 200 people responded, and by a 2-to-1 margin, the public favors automated pickup with these special trash barrels that are picked up by the truck. He said that when you tell people that it saves the city money, he received a 4-to-1 in favor. Let's see if the Haverhill City Council agrees tomorrow night, or your views right after we get back from local weather.
Open mic!
Tim Coco and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900 or email tcoco@whav.net. If you are enjoying this program, please consider making a donation right now. Your donations to not-for-profit WHAV help keep these vital community services on the air. Donate online at www.whav.net.
It's 7:36.
This is Phil Christie. When local news breaks, the wave is there. Only local radio can bring you local news, but only WHAV does.
Catch the wave!
Suspense, a weekly anthology of notable melodramas from stage and screen, fiction and radio, presented every Monday night to bring you to the edge of your chair, to keep you in suspense. Listen to the new Suspense with a company of Hollywood actors and surprising guest stars, Monday nights at 10, with encore performances at 1 a.m., right here on WHAV. Remember, only local radio can bring you this feature opportunity, but only WHAV does.
Wave weather!
I'm WHAV meteorologist Gary Best with wave weather. Partly cloudy to clear skies for the Merrimack Valley going through the night. Low temperature by morning, 60 to 65 degrees. And then during the day Tuesday, a mix of clouds and sun, perhaps an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. We climb into the low and mid 80s. At night, some scattered clouds in the mid 60s. Wednesday, partial sunshine, upper 70s to low 80s, with a few scattered showers and thunderstorms around. This is meteorologist Gary Best. Your next to wave weather is coming up in 30 minutes.
WHAV Open Mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
Welcome back to the Open Mic Show, a 50-year staple of democracy in the Merrimack Valley. This hour of the Open Mic Show is being brought to you by the Merrimack Valley Economic Development Council. Smart companies choose the Merrimack Valley. And, you know, for the rest of you, whether you own a company or not, the Merrimack Valley Economic Development Council has a great weekly newsletter called Merrimack Valley Happenings, and you can receive that right in your own email box each week. It has a list of just about every event that you could possibly contemplate doing, and you certainly won't have the time to do them all. He lists concerts. He lists outdoor fairs. He lists recreation areas and parks and trails. Just about you're looking for something to do and you have little or no money, well, Merrimack Valley Happening. So go to Merrimack Valley Economic Development Council at merrimackvalley.info, merrimackvalley.info, and sign up for the newsletter. You'll find plenty to do and plenty to share, and it comes out every week direct to your mailbox. If you're not sure about signing up, then just look at a sample issue at merrimackvalley.info. Okay, prizes. Now that we're back on television and the world is at peace, at least in the Merrimack Valley, let's look at it. You can win a birthday cake or an anniversary cake. You can give it to yourself or someone you know. All you have to do is call 978-374-1900, and we're taking September birthdays and anniversaries tonight. We'll do a drawing the last Monday of the month. Our thanks go out to LBD's Italian Bakery, 140 South Main Street in Bradford. I was asked to provide some desserts today for the community meals program at the Citizen Center. Haverhill Rotary asked members to, this is their week to do it. Of course, I had the show. So, of course, I picked up goodies from LBD's Italian Bakery in Bradford. So hopefully they're enjoying those there. You too can stop by. They have more than just cakes and cookies. They have Italian breads, pizzas, meat pies, more, all handmade from scratch by their staff. So LBD's Italian Bakery. Call in a birthday or an anniversary wish, and the name will be entered. Also, $10 gift certificate, same as cash, to use at Kimball Tavern Antiques, corner of Salem and South Main Streets, right there up by Bradford Common. Here's the question. All you have to do is answer this question correctly, and you could receive the $10 gift certificate. Name the oldest bowling league in Haverhill. Okay, I haven't gone bowling in years. I'd probably hurt myself or someone else if I did. But some of you who bowl or know bowlers, here's your chance. Just pick a name if you don't know, and we'll run it by this list. What is the name of the oldest bowling league in Haverhill? The winner receives a $10 gift certificate to Kimball Tavern Antiques. And if you would like to visit the John Greenleaf Whittier birthplace, absolutely free of charge, right here in Haverhill. Last year we were using the term daycations or staycations, people who couldn't afford to go away. Well, whether you can afford to or not, it's a great tourist attraction right here in Haverhill, 70 acres of land. There are trails, and of course the John Greenleaf Whittier birthplace. So here's the question submitted by Open Mic Show historian David Gounswood. He said that Haverhillite Rob Zombie, in a interview with Rolling Stone, was asked what he did for amusement. Rather than name anything obvious, he said he had trouble with not much to do in the city and chose to play football in an unusual location. Take a guess at that unusual location, and you could win one of two of these Trivial Pursuit mini packs. You take your pick, War and Victory mini pack or Flicks Trivial Pursuit mini pack for answering that question. Anyone who's still waiting for a prize from WHAV, rest assured the volunteer crew, and that's why I was serious about if Len wants to come in and work. No age discrimination here. We'll take them. Come in. Well, of course, you don't get paid. It's volunteer work. This is a nonprofit. Come in and work on getting these prizes out to winners. That would at least be one thing off my plate. Okay. Of course, I suppose that's a good. Oh, is this a caller? Nate is going to the microphone. I don't know if we should be worried or not.
You should be very worried. This is a caller that wants to comment about your tie.
All right. Can we wait till oh, no, it's 2 minutes before break, huh?
I think you can squeeze them in.
All right. I guess we can squeeze this in. All right. You are on the Open Mic Show, and obviously you're commending my great attire tonight.
Well, I'm kind of wishing that the camera hadn't gone back on.
Is it that bad? You know,
no, if you were a Scotsman and you threw up your kilt all over the front of your shirt.
Oh, is that what it looks like? You know, I was telling a staffer here today that I'm going to renew my either pledge or threat, you pick, that any charity that would like me to wear a tie representing their charity, the more outlandish the better, I will wear to help your charity raise funds on the open mic show. Now,
I have to think that's very commendable, especially since obviously you are being dressed by the blind.
Well, that's it. You see, David, you're fast. David, you're fast. Well, if you remember, and I don't know if it's still around here, seems to me the rubber duck regatta of the Haverhill Rotary Club used to have so-called duck ties. Do you think that would be an improvement on my attire, David?
Are we talking the radio audience or the television audience?
The television audience.
There was a running gag in How I Met Your Mother with a duck tie. That's all I'll say on the topic.
Really? Nate is laughing, so he must know the reference. I don't. But
I have a question for you, because your memory is better on certain things than mine.
All right, well, let's hope. I got Tolstoy wrong.
Joe Durso.
Joe Durso, yes.
Didn't he also build State Line Plaza?
Oh, that sounds vaguely familiar.
Which means he's responsible for that whole brouhaha about water going over the state line?
That is starting to sound vaguely familiar. Was he the developer of that plaza, where there was some shared water service from Haverhill to Plastow, and then, and someone who has a better legal mind than mine can tell me, but I understand that if you provide a service for 7 years or something, you can't take it I think there's some kind of rights along those.
David, to wait for the radio legal expert to call in.
Hey, do we have a WHAV open mic legal expert? Hey, okay, we have a slot to fill now.
There you go.
So we have an open mic show historian.
I'm going to let you go to your break, but I do have a favor to ask tonight.
All right.
My father-in-law is listening to HAV in the other room, and he has not heard the retromercial for the mousetrap.
Oh, I'll tell you what we'll do. At the end of the break, we'll play it, and Nate has to find it. At the end of the break. So, first of all, I want to say hello to your father-in-law, Ken. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Ken, how are you? You can answer, I can listen through the radio. All right. Let's go to that break. We're going to work in the mice cube invented by Ken right in this break. All right, thanks so much, David.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Open mic.
Tim Coco and the open mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900 or email tcoco@whav.net. If you are enjoying this program, please consider making a donation right now. Your donations to not-for-profit WHAV help keep these vital community services on the air. Donate online at www.whav.net.
WHAV is on Facebook. For quick access, visit whav.net and click on the Facebook icon.
Merrimack Valley Happenings is your weekly guide to economic news and cultural events. It's a quick read about local business, the economy, and higher education. It also features an all-in-one calendar of business, cultural, and recreational events. View Merrimack Valley Happenings online or sign up for a weekly email at merrimackvalley.info.
Open mic.
Every Monday night, the Open Mic Show brings interesting guests into your homes, presents your take on current events, and dabbles in little-known local history. I'm Tim Coco, your host, inviting you to join the chorus of community voices beginning at 6:30 Monday nights right here on WHAV. You may also watch this 50-year staple of democracy live at WHAV.tv and Haverhill Community Television Channel 22. The Open Mic Show was brought to you by Northern Essex Community College, the Merrimack Valley Economic Development Council, and WHAV members. Remember, only local radio can bring you this talk opportunity, but only WHAV does.
This is Take Two Movie Review. I'm Kim Lowe. This week, you'll want to purge too after watching this movie. Someone who has never watched the first Purge will have no problems grasping the plot of the sequel. Set in the near future, the U.S. government has allotted one night out of every year for 12 hours of anarchy. During that time, citizens are allowed, with a few exceptions, to kill whomever they desire. This is justified on the basis that the Purge allows citizens to get out their pent-up aggressions, which in turn leads to an overall lower crime rate. Of course, things aren't exactly as they seem, and as we follow 5 people randomly thrown together on the night of the annual Purge, we learn that the government's new founding fathers and their motives are far more sinister than most could imagine. While the premise contained in the Purge anarchy sounds interesting, the movie falls drastically short of its potential. In a nutshell, the movie is ultra-violent, with a thin plot and even thinner characters. It appears as if the writer of this movie had no interest in creating actual, well-rounded characters, but instead was content to fall back on stereotypes. Likewise, the actors portraying the characters are largely forgettable as well, with the sole exception of Frank Grillo. At the very least, he deserves an A for effort for making the most of the bad material given to him. However, Grillo's performance alone isn't worth the price of admission or the price of sitting through this movie. This is one to purge from your to-see list. This has been Take Two Movie Review. I'm Kim Lowe. Catch up with us at TakeTwoMovieReview.com and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Take2_Review.
WHAV Retromercial.
For years, science tried to invent a better mousetrap. But to no avail. As time moved on, the resulting technology, we'll call it mousetrap technology, helped civilization in many ways, like in putting man on the moon. But still, no better mousetrap. That is, until now. At A to Z Tool in Plastow, you'll now find the Mice Cube. Nothing like its predecessor, the Rubik's Cube. The Mice Cube is a simple device, a clear plastic cube with a swinging door. Holes in the door allow the mouse to smell the bait inside. Once in the Mice Cube, they're trapped. The Mice Cube does all the dirty work. You don't even have to touch the mouse once he's been eliminated. The Mice Cube is reusable and non-toxic, so there's no danger of exposing children or pets to anything harmful. The Mice Cube from Pied Piper International of Plastow, available at A to Z Tool, 31 Kingston Road in Plastow, and at many other hardware outlets. It's not a better mousetrap, it's the best mousetrap.
WHAV Open Mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
This hour of the Open Mic Show is being brought to you by the Merrimack Valley Economic Development Council. Smart companies choose the Merrimack Valley. Okay, Ken, I hope you heard your retromercial. Congratulations to you on inventing such a fine product that we still think about today. Building a better mousetrap. That is an entrepreneur's dream. Congratulations, Ken. Okay. We've talked about the prizes. Call in with a September birthday or a September anniversary, and we will take your call say hello to the birthday or anniversary recipient, even if it's you, and then put the name in the hat for a drawing for a free cake from LBD's Italian Bakery, 140 South Main Street. And if you'd like a $10 gift certificate to Kimball Tavern Antiques, a very popular prize from our friends there at the corner of Salem and South Main Street, name the oldest bowling league. Not place, league. Oldest bowling league in Haverhill. Take a guess even. And if you're the winner, you get a $10 gift certificate to Kimball Tavern Antiques. If you would like to visit the John Greenleaf Whittier birthplace, absolutely free of charge. Be the first to ask, and we'll give you a free pass to the birthplace. And last but not least, Rob Zombie. This question comes from David Godswood, the last caller who was on the line. Haverhillite Rob Zombie was interviewed by Rolling Stone. Each time I say it, I probably say this a little differently. He was interviewed by Rolling Stone magazine and was asked about his what amusing things he did in Haverhill. He said there was nothing to do here, but he did manage to play football in an unusual location, at least for football. Unusual location. Take a guess at what unusual location in the city did Rob Zombie play, and you could win one of these Trivial Pursuit game packs, mini packs. You can choose between War and Victory or Flicks. And those prizes also provided by our friends at Kimball Tavern Antiques. All right, I wonder if Dave, our public safety expert, is around. And here's a question for Dave. I know he listens intently, so he may be able to do this. But WHAV News has put out, as far as I know, the only station, the only media to do it. But apparently, Route 97, Upper Broadway, from Silver Birch to Research Drive, is going to be improved. Apparently, it's a $5.7 million project. It's a lot of money. Costs are going to be split between the federal government, will take 80% share. That's still taxpayer money. And the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, 20%. And the city has to pay for the design, which apparently is still around $500,000. So, and 25% of the design has been done. Mayor Fiorentini said beautification of our neighborhoods is a priority, and this mostly federal and state-funded project will add to the quality of life for our residents. Apparently, this includes sidewalks. Now, I think David Godswood also grew up in this neighborhood, and not too far from where I grew up. I'm trying to recall, maybe there are no sidewalks up and down Broadway there. So I'm wondering if our public safety guy, Dave, has a comment on putting sidewalks and on this stretch of Upper Broadway. I don't know if any of you ever, I think this is a little... I'm not sure if this is in the exact same area on Broadway, but if you're ever coming from 495, you get on Broadway heading toward Salem, New Hampshire, and you decide, I think I'll have a donut from Dunkin' Donuts there. Making that left turn, depending on the time of the day, is practically life-threatening to cross Route 97 right there at Forest Street. So maybe you have a thought on that, Dave, public safety expert on the Open Mic Show. Not to be confused with a historian and a one-time resident of that same area, David Godswood. All right. Now, maybe you have comments on the latest market basket news. Okay, I'll do this somewhat off the top of my head. Arthur T., the middle initials are important in this story. Arthur T. DeMoulis was ousted as CEO of Market Basket. He owns a little less than half of the company. His relatives owned the majority, and they threw him out. And workers are picketing. Customers are boycotting. And Arthur T. has said he is interested in buying the part of the company he does not own, and he'll even go to work while those negotiations go on. And that seems to be a great solution to the entire problem. RDT would go back. Looks like employees would welcome him with open arms, literally, and customers would go back there. But unfortunately, the Arthur S. side of the family said, no, stay away for now. And they're having a job fair, which I understand has not been well attended so far. And just before broadcast, there was a report that, let's see, a DeMoulis cousin, Jack DeMoulis. You know, I guess depending on the day, he's either a friend or an enemy of this situation. Jack DeMoulis is Market Basket's director of dairy and frozen foods. He said he asked employees to go back to work and, quote, let Arthur T. and Arthur S. work it out. Well, I wonder what's happening with that. But he is certainly playing both sides against the middle here. Jack DeMoulis says it was wrong to fire Arthur T., but also wrong for employees to initiate a work stoppage, which has inconvenienced our customers, traumatized thousands of associates, hurt our suppliers, and made a public circus out of a private dispute. Now, I think employees of the store would beg to differ. They say that they are only picketing on their own time or during unpaid breaks, and that the reason they're not working is that there's no one in the stores. So, very interesting that Jack is playing this, as we would say, both sides against the middle. Maybe you have a thought on that. 978-374-1900. Probably want to do that after the news. Maybe I'll actually be on time for once. Nate is absolutely unprepared for me being on time, so he's rushing around getting ready. But we're going to go to local news with WHAV's own news director, Dana Esmel, starting first with national news from FSN. There'll be Nate Webster's NASCAR race recap and weather, all compressed into this tiny amount of time. So enjoy and come back to the Open Mic Show.
Open Mic!
Tim Coco and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900 or email tcoco@whav.net. If you are enjoying this program, please consider making a donation right now. Your donations to not-for-profit WHAV help keep these vital community services on the air. Donate online at www.whav.net.
Here's what's happening in local news. A number of appointments by Haverhill Mayor James J. Fiorentini going before the City Council Tuesday, including that of a leader from the Haverhill School Parent Group, which lobbied successfully for a new hunking school to join the Haverhill Planning Board. The Haverhill City Council is being asked to confirm Haverhill for hunking co-chairperson Karen Pugh as the newest member of the Planning Board for a 5-year term. Also on the council agenda for Tuesday night, a vote expected to reestablish a 5-member recycling advisory committee. Non-confirming appointments to the panel would include Councilor Colin LePage and DPW Director Michael Stankovich as an advisory member. Local businessman Peter A. Carboni would serve as its chairperson. The revamped recycling committee comes as Mayor Fiorentini is scheduled to present a proposed new trash and recycling pickup contract that would bring automated pickup to the city with the use of new 64-gallon wheeled containers. The Haverhill City Council meets at 7 p.m. Tuesday in the council chambers at Haverhill City Hall. The group of Market Basket supermarket workers protesting the past 2 weeks for the reinstatement of ousted CEO Arthur T. DeMoulis are reacting with caution to reports that he would be willing to come back with his management team while negotiations continue over a buyout offer. The group known as Save Market Basket says, quote, "This is huge that ATD is willing to take a chance of putting the company back on track without a guarantee or deal in place," end quote. Meanwhile, the group also claims none of the associates who have been out of work since the protests began have returned to work today, despite warnings from the current management they risk being replaced if they do not report to work by today's deadline. Save Market Basket also maintains they will remain in protest and boycott mode until they hear an official word on negotiations. Quote, "We also know that he can't wait to get back to work as we can't wait, but we will not be going back until he is back in charge," end quote. In sports, WHAV's Nate Webster has this week's NASCAR race recap.
The tricky triangle was much too tough for some drivers this weekend at Pocono. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was your race winner, picking up his 3rd win of the year. Dale talks about how his crew chief's strategy played a big part in his success and how he was fortunate enough to not get caught up in the big wreck of the day.
Yeah, this is big. I think that I got a lot of faith in Steve, and the strategy that he used today gave us the opportunity to get by some guys that we probably weren't going to pass on the racetrack. We had Kevin Harvick beside us, which was very tough. I knew he was going to be tough to get around. Steve's strategy gave us a chance to win.
The 18 of Kyle Busch goes to the garage early in the race with what appeared to be smoke from the back end from a blown engine. Brian Becker slowed the field at lap 117, trying to avoid a spinning Denny Hamlin, and instead collected 12 other drivers in the big wreck of the day, including Matt Kenseth, Tony Stewart, Martin Truex, Paul Menard, and Eric Almirola. Turn 2 was not the place to be. Several cars hit the wall hard. Danica Patrick, Landon Castle, Jimmy Johnson, AJ Allmendinger, and Kurt Busch all getting damage when their right side tires go down. For a race recap, I'm Nate Webster, WHAV Sports.
Remember, WHAV is the only Haverhill-based news source, and it's always free. In the Edwin V. Johnson newsroom, this is Dana Esmel.
Wave weather.
I'm WHAV meteorologist Gary Best with WAVE weather. Partly cloudy to clear skies for the Merrimack Valley going through the night. Low temperature by morning 60 to 65 degrees. And then during the day Tuesday, a mix of clouds and sun, perhaps an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. We climb into the low and mid 80s. At night, some scattered clouds in the mid 60s. Wednesday, partial sunshine, upper 70s to low 80s with a few scattered showers and thunderstorms around. This is meteorologist Gary Best. Your next WAVE weather is coming up in 30 minutes.
For live and local talk, listen to the Open Mic Show, Monday nights. You can also see the program at www.whav.tv. Only local radio can bring you this talk opportunity, but only WHAV does.
WHAV, Merrimack Valley. Open mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
Welcome back to the Open Mic Show, a 50-year staple of democracy in the Merrimack Valley. Okay, the sun is going down, guys. Give me a break. Come in from your cookouts. Call the Open Mic Show, 978-374-1900. We had a request out to, and I hope he's listening, WHAV's Public Safety Director, Dave, with a question about whether or not he thinks these improvements to Broadway, Route 97, will help with safety issues on that stretch of road. I believe Dave is the one who pointed out some time ago about some horrific car accident along that stretch. So, but maybe someone else has a comment on it. Have you tried to walk up Route 97? Did you encounter problems that there were no sidewalks but a lot of traffic? Have you ever had to make a left-hand turn going north on 97 and had trouble making that turn or worse? What are your thoughts? Also, Mayor Fiorentini says he took his own poll. 200, by now maybe more than that, 200 people responded as of last week. And the public favors the automated pickup with toters, they're called. If you don't know what that means, kind of an extra large trash barrel, I believe 96 gallons for recycling, 64 gallons for ordinary trash. You would wheel this out and it saves on labor. The garbage truck people would then pick it up with an automated arm, empty your trash, and I'm sure they'll still find a way for that automated arm to make fun of you like the others do. So what do you think of that? Is the mayor's poll accurate? Do you support automated pickup? The only negative comments I've heard, I guess the positives, let's do the positives first, is that you get these free trash barrels, and they're much larger than the ones you have. The only negative comments I heard was whether or not that was going to harm Ed Chernesky over there at Sioux City Hardware, who sells trash barrels, and maybe, I don't know if what's the one in Bradford called? Arthur Sharp, whether he sells trash barrels, whether that affects him or not. Maybe the city will buy them from one of those two vendors. I wonder if they have a chance to bid on that. That's a good question for the new city purchasing agent. Where are they going to buy those from, and will any local vendors have a chance to bid on it? I know that the two local hardware stores have, they team up with others, and they can get some pretty good prices that are comparable to the big chains like Home Depot. So maybe the city would consider letting local companies bid on the trash barrels. But the other negative comment I heard was simply that there are some people who live, third floor walk up, and that it would be next to impossible to deal with these extra large containers. What are your thoughts? The mayor says that there's a 4-to-1 margin in favor when people are told that it saves taxpayer dollars. I understand city councilors are skeptical. Maybe the mayor or one of the councilors wants to give us a call and advocate either way on the matter of these toters. So, Route 97 reconstruction, $5-6 million project, trash. These are issues that hit us at home. Not to mention the increased cost of grocery shopping if you were a regular market basket shopper. All of these are consumer issues, homeowner issues, resident issues. Give us a call, 978-374-1900. Open lines right here on the Open Mic Show. I did send a message by Facebook to John about his uncle, Joseph J. Durso. He had posted on Facebook that the late Joseph Durso served the city of Haverhill as an alderman, another form of government in the city, from 1948 to 50, and city councilor from 1952 to 56. And we happen to have dug out of the archives a recording of Joseph Durso making his pitch for the Republican nomination to run for state representative. Does anyone remember Joseph Durso? He apparently built quite a few shopping plazas. David Goudswood seems to think he built the one right over state line, right over the border at the state line Plaza, or whatever it's called now. I think it's called Shaw's Plaza. I'm not sure. Maybe it brings a couple of our topics together. So, if you have a thought on that, this brings to mind how many forms of government Haverhill has had. Any of you familiar with what aldermen are? My quick answer is that department heads were actually elected. So you might have public works and public safety and so on elected, and they were also served as the city council. And then they chose from among their members who would be the mayor. And then we went to a paid city manager in the 50s, and we brought in our first Plan A mayor, strong mayor form of government, with late Mayor James Waldron in the 60s. And this may very well be the Plan A form of government, the longest form of government the city has ever had. You are on the Open Mic Show.
Hi, Tim.
Hi there, how are you?
Oh, I'm just kind of hanging in over here.
Hey, you're in one of those places where maybe they already have dumpsters, so you don't have to worry about these toters, do you?
No, not at all.
All right, so you don't care either way then?
No, I really don't.
Okay, how are you?
Paying my taxes, that's all. I'm okay. Nothing in particular going on.
All right.
It's hard to comment on all these things, but yet there are so many different things out there. Like you mentioned Broadway. I had no idea. I didn't know they were going to put sidewalks up there.
Yeah, I was thinking, I have to say, that was the one hill that I absolutely could never bicycle up. I always had to get off my bike and walk up, and I can't even imagine if I could walk now up there. So
coming down is a lot easier.
Yeah, actually, thank you for the reminder. I came down that stretch once only to realize that my brakes weren't working.
Oh, that's fun.
I had just lost all the brake fluid. Apparently, had a brake line broke, and of course, I was at least smart enough to know that the emergency brake was there for a reason. So it worked. So what's on your mind? You have
Nothing
some
in particular, but when you talk about sidewalks, I immediately start thinking about putting curb cuts in properly. That hasn't always been the case around town.
Well, that's actually a very good point. I think when the state does a project, they might put telephone poles in the middle of the sidewalk, but they at least do the curb cuts. But that's an interesting observation.
Well, doing them right too. I mean, it's supposed to be 1 inch to 1 foot. So I don't have people running around measuring things like that.
Oh, I see. So I mean, the incline isn't too steep.
Right, exactly.
Oh, okay.
And just like downtown, somebody told me that there is or is not necessarily a 36-inch wide path of travel in some of those sidewalks downstairs where the sidewalk dining takes place.
That's an interesting question.
I don't know. I'm never down there, so if some listeners are out there with their tape measures...
Okay, so you mean there has to be at least 3 feet of passage space outside of those dining areas.
Yep.
Very interesting. Okay, we're sending Nate down with the tape measure. Okay, Nate, you're up to the job? All right.
I never get down there, and I can't afford to eat out anyway, so...
Well, I kind of understand that. Now, it's funny. I was... this comes up every now and then when I look in the cupboards, and of course anyone who knows me knows that you really wouldn't want me to cook anyway, but on those rare occasions when I have, this is absolutely the truth. I once made pork chops that even my dogs wouldn't eat. So, but in any event, it's hard to find an inexpensive place. Yesterday, I was looking for an inexpensive place to go because, again, we hadn't gone grocery shopping. There was very little in the house. And so I went
why.
to... What?
I wonder why.
Yeah, well, it's just the trouble of having to go to another store, and then you spend all your money anyway. But I don't know if I should, talk about a chain, but I went to Friendly's. And it was less expensive. I think the entrees were $8 or $9. But, of course, I couldn't resist the ice cream later, so the budget and my waistline were blown anyway.
There you go.
Hey, so do you know of any cheap eats in Haverhill?
Cheap eats in Haverhill. I really don't.
That's a good topic.
It is a good topic, but didn't they have a thing like where there's fine dining and where there's family, where there's, because I haven't been out in years. And
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
well, I guess I have so many people coming and going here that they cook, they fill me right up.
Oh, that's good. So we're eating at your house tomorrow.
There you go.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, though, I can't buy groceries anymore because there aren't any to buy.
No, that's true, and it's right across the street from you, too. Yeah, I was surprised with Nate's photograph that, and he hadn't had a chance yet to talk about them, but he took a bunch of photographs this weekend. And, I'd heard about produce being unavailable and, meats being unavailable, but I was surprised to see the cereal aisle with like 2 brands left. Apparently, Special K is not all that popular.
I guess not.
Actually, here's an idiotic trivia question. Special K. I'm not sure this is actually correct, but years ago, my father, when he was alive, he was a plumber, and he had a customer who worked, I don't know, for the Kellogg chain or one of those, and this person gave him these boxes. They're completely wrapped, and they're safe, but boxes of Kellogg's Pep. And, of course, the last time I even heard of Pep is it sponsored a radio show in the 40s. I don't know when they stopped making it. But so as kids, we curiously opened these packages to see what the cereal looked like.
Right.
And, of course, we still tasted it. And it was Special K. So I'm assuming Special K is renamed Kellogg's Pep. But
That's probably it, yeah.
So what do I know?
Well, now I know David is probably researching it as we speak.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, David always goes looking.
If that's what the case is.
All right, so do you have a birthday for September or an anniversary?
Well, I get some, but how many could I go through? There are different ones. I have addresses for some people, not for others, and so on. So I don't know. I'll probably call again next week or so.
Oh, as you put that together. I know that the odds are not usually in your favor.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
No.
They used to be at one time.
All right. So anything else on your mind?
Yeah. Not really. I'm just kind of taken up by this whole market basket thing, and I wish they'd get it together and get it resolved.
Yeah,
so
it is.
Have some products again.
It's absolutely amazing, really, what's happening. And,
it is. And the thing is, I miss the days when we had more than one grocery store in Haverhill. But, even if you did, they would be either hiking their prices or they'd be out of stock or whatever. We had the Elm Farm, we had the Grand Union, we had First National, A&P. We had a bunch of them.
Actually, you're right.
Giant Value.
And there were a couple on Merrimack Street, right?
They were, yes.
Oh, that
was before my day. Now, Stop and Shop back in the 40s was on Merrimack Street.
Okay, back in the 40s?
Yeah.
The mayor talks about, is it Gus's? Was that a grocery store where Haverhill Music Center was last?
Yeah, a small one, yeah, I think. Yeah, that was before my day.
And that's right. There were some down there. And, I still can't, and I've never done it. I have not shopped for groceries at Walmart. I'm told that people do, and I didn't even know.
Well, Target, too, has them, I've been told.
Really?
Yeah.
So I just somehow, there's just something icky about shopping for food.
I hear that peapod.com delivers now. I don't know if they deliver to Haverhill. I'll bet they do.
Oh, I remember them. They actually? So they still do that?
I believe.
Well, I figured that was one of those fads that went away when someone realized what it was costing.
No, I do believe they're still in business. So.
All right, well.
But I just don't know if they deliver here.
Hey, do you want to take a guess at where Rob Zombie played football?
Yeah, how about the parking lot off of Washington Street where Fantini Bakery is?
I think that's a great idea, but not the answer we're looking for.
Not the answer? Okay.
Not bad. Hey, what about the oldest bowling league in Haverhill?
I don't know. When I was about 10, I was in a bowling league down at Plaza Lanes, but...
Oh, which one was that?
I don't know what it was called.
Oh, you don't remember what it was called?
I don't know. The Big Ball Bowling League.
All right,
They
no,
were big.
that's not it. Okay, what else?
When you mentioned Haverhill Music Center, though, you made me think again. What's up with that? Is there anything going on down there? I'm thinking, just what we need, another restaurant and bar downtown.
Actually, there was some news on that. I'm trying to reach into the back of my brain here. That was going to be what, apartments? I believe there was some.
Yeah, residential units up top. No elevator or anything like that.
Oh, still no elevator?
Well, no, they're not. That's too costly. They're not going to do that, and they just managed to skim right around the AAB and ADA laws.
I thought if you had a certain percentage of new construction, you had to do it.
Well, if it's new construction, you're not talking new construction now.
Well, I don't know what's up there now. You got to put up apartments. There must be some percentage of new construction.
Well, I'm thinking of the footprint of the whole premises.
Oh, maybe that's the rule.
And then you have your change of use rules.
My goodness.
They did their research first, so they knew what they didn't have to spend money on.
Now, I believe there was... money has been, there's not enough money from the state to do a project at Little River Falls. What was it called, Little River Dyers?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. So maybe that's a bad name anyway.
Well, where are you talking about?
That building where the brick wall actually is in the falls.
Right there? Okay, because I remember when I was a kid, there was a sign on it that said Braley and Walker.
Oh, I think that sign might still be around, come to think of it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I kind of remember that. My understanding, when Marty Jones from Mass Development was here, and we put it on WHAV, she said that, they just didn't have enough money to provide for that project, and I guess it's one of those where if you don't have some outside help, it's just far too expensive to do it.
Sure.
Maybe someone from the city could fill us in on the status of that. Mm-hmm. Hey, you're always good for getting me thinking about things.
Well, keep on thinking.
All righty then. All right. Well, thank you very much for your call. Think about those birthdays. You always have a list. I don't know how your wife puts up with you putting in all these women's names.
Well, the thing is, though, some live away. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just kidding. I hope she's not mad at me for saying that.
No.
All right. Thank you very much for your call.
All right, Tim.
All right. Thanks. Talk to you next week. All right. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Always nice to hear from old friends of the Open Mic Show. And you know what? I'm determined not to get cut off from Haverhill Community Television this week, so I'm going to call it quits. All right, next week, be sure to call the program. Birthday prizes, prizes for games and antiques, all of that right here on the Open Mic Show. Many thanks to our sponsors, Merrimack Valley Economic Development Council and Northern Essex Community College. Thanks also to Nathan E. Webster III for working through software problems and taking photographs all weekend and all that. I don't know what I'm forgetting, but we'll take it from there next week. Have a great night.
Open Mic!
Join Tim Coco live on the Open Mic again next Monday night at 6:30. The opinions expressed on the Open Mic Show are not necessarily those of WHAV, its underwriters, or affiliated stations. The Open Mic Show came to you from the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom.
It's 8:30.
Stay informed each day with local news, coupled with Pacifica's worldwide coverage. Only local radio can bring you local news, but only WHAV does.
Catch the wave!
Hi, I'm meteorologist Gary Best. Do you need to know if it's going to be hot or cold?